Hi there, it's Sarah from Inspire Tarot. Welcome to the channel. I'm using these cards today from the Everyday Miracles deck. They're big and not that easy to do. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. It can be but myself I crucify. Love holds no grievances. And the peace of God is shining in me now. So, yeah, truth will correct all errors in my mind. So, basically, this means that unity will correct duality. And we believe everything in a dualistic way. And understanding everything in a dualistic way is painful because it's fragmented. And the ego is always, its mission is a death wish, as it says in A Course in Miracles. So we know that the truth will correct all errors, and within this truth is the belief that we are spirit, we are one, we are at peace, and we're not really these bodies, and we can kind of zoom out in the mind further back than the body identity, and therefore we have complete power. So yeah, one of the things I really like about this understanding is that the mind is limitless. Even though the physical world is finite, the mind is completely limitless, which is kind of mind-boggling. And the mind never dies. So we may fear death and fear all sorts of things, but at the end of the day, the mind will never die. It cannot be put out. It cannot be extinguished because it's eternal and it's created by God. So every time we have a little upset come into the mind, it can be corrected by the truth, by remembering that this world is an illusion and a dream, and that the things that are happening for our good, and we don't need to buy into the ego story about what's happening. We might do for a little while, but as soon as we remember, we can attune to the right mind. This ties in kind of well with the next card. It can be but myself I crucify. So whenever we choose to think of ourselves as a body, then we're thinking of ourselves in a weakened state, in a false state that we aren't really. The body is held together by thought and thought patterns. It doesn't really exist. In A Course in Miracles, it says the body doesn't actually ever exist at all. It's either remembered or anticipated. So it's possible to zoom out so far that we don't experience being in a body. And Jesus experienced this on the cross, when he was being when he was hung on the cross and he was being crucified. He didn't feel anything because he doesn't have guilt. He didn't have guilt. So every time we get upset about something, it's really just our pride that's injured, and we have a choice about whether we want to listen to the ego's story about whether we're being unfairly treated, or whether we want to listen to the spirit who's always telling us that our interpretation of what's happening is always a mistake. It's always wrong if it's not loving or painful. Any thought that's painful is automatically not true. That's how we undo it. In the past, I've thought that any thought that we think that is painful means that there's a problem, but really the problem is all just in perception, and we can completely shift it at the perceptual level. And I know that I've freed myself from many an issue just by using this understanding. So also, love holds no grievances. This is fantastic. Love is one. There's nothing to have a grievance with in love. In love in its purest form, there's nothing to have a grievance with. And we understand that other people that we might have a grievance with, it's our perception that's created our understanding of what they're doing that's upset us. So we need to forgive it because it's our error anyway. So there's no point holding a grievance with another person because it's our own error. So this is just helpful to understand. And the peace of God is shining in me now. So yeah, because we're eternal and we cannot be harmed and we cannot die, we can always fall back on this memory, this idea that peace is a choice to not be affected by the world. You know, we may feel a little bit upset, but we don't necessarily have to be disturbed by our upset feelings. We can accept them. And we understand that God has set us completely free. I mean, we've never been limited really, but in the dream we can feel as though we've been limited, but in truth we're completely free. We can attach to or remember this peace of God and just luxuriate in it, because it's a beautiful thing and it's very sweet. Right, I'm going to turn these cards over because they have something on the other side. When a situation has been dedicated wholly to truth, peace is inevitable. Yeah, it's totally true. Because when we understand that everything is either love or a call for love, and it's just a healing opportunity, and that nothing is really going wrong, that, you know, everything is happening for our good, then it can make kind of, even to the ego, it can start to feel like, oh, okay, I'm not failing, or I'm not doing something wrong, and it's helpful. Okay, you have no idea of the tremendous release and deep peace that comes from meeting yourself and your brothers totally without judgment. Yeah, I can attest to this being true, because it's our thoughts and our judgments that cause pain. It's our thoughts and our judgments that cause us to see people as people, to see them as fragments of the whole and see them as good or bad. If we just see everyone as innocent, then we can just let anything fly. Any interpretation that the ego gives us, we can just let it go, because we know that it's wrong. The holiest of all the spots on earth is where an ancient hatred has become a present love. I really like this line. It's so beautiful. I think it's particularly important with relationships that have been difficult throughout your life, and relationships that you've kind of turned right side up, where you've put a lot of work in, you've done all your forgiveness lessons, you've forgiven people, you've forgiven generally, forgiven the separation belief, forgiven every unloving thought you have in your mind. And when we forgive and when we don't judge, we're essentially purifying, and the love that is always there underneath just starts to flood through more and more. It's almost like, yeah, you could say that we're cleaning the lens to see clearer, but it's almost like you're clearing the heart out, because the pain becomes less and you can feel the love and the safety and the trust and the peace. And it's kind of very much like a womb-like feeling, and it's just, yeah, it's just amazing. And we're here to heal our relationships with people. This has been one of my missions in this lifetime. You know, I think once you've healed any issues or rifts in relationship with people, then you've done what God wanted you to do, and then you can leave this incarnation in peace, knowing that you've done what you're supposed to do. Okay, why wait for heaven? Those who seek the light are merely covering their eyes. The light is in them now. Enlightenment is but a recognition, not a change at all. Yeah, so we are enlightened. I think this is the thing, that we're always enlightened. The soul or the spirit is never tainted and can never be tainted. It's always there. It's eternal. And it's the erroneous belief that we're a flawed human being that causes the problem. And as we begin to let go of that concept of ourselves and attach ourselves more to our true nature, then we don't really need to seek the light. The light is just revealed to us more and more that that's what we are. So enlightenment is always just a recognition and not a change at all. I think these cards are beautiful. Right, I hope this helped. Love you all. Bye.